Namaste. Today we'll take a look at a very simple practice. It's just a centering practice with the breath, and all we'll be doing is following the breath. So start to get yourself situated. Make yourself a nice, comfortable seated position. And comfortable seated really means comfortable seated. You don't always have to sit with legs crossed. You can have legs straight out or sitting over to one side. It's completely up to you. So whenever you start your pranayama practice, the only thing that's really important is that you have a nice elongated spine, that you're sitting up straight. Think of bringing the top of the head to the ceiling so that we can open up the chest and breathe freely. That's really all we're looking for in pranayama. So all we'll be doing today is looking at a very easy practice that starts to settle down the mind, it starts to center ourselves. So find your comfortable seated position, and we'll simply start to tune in. And by tuning in, we're just sitting with silence. And then we'll start to bring our awareness right to the nose or the nostrils. And we'll be breathing in through the nostrils and out through the nostrils. And all we're doing is noticing that breath. We're feeling the touch of air as air moves in and as air moves out. Being seated with silence is probably something we don't get to do very often in our day. So it's a really nice practice to try and add to the day as much as possible, especially if you're going through different kinds of stress or just having one of those crazy days that we all seem to have. In the midst of chaos, it's a great way of starting to slow down the mind and all that bombardment of thoughts that always come in. That monkey mind that keeps moving from thought to thought. So we bring awareness to the nostrils. We notice the air and the touch of breath as it comes in through the nose. And the touch of breath as it moves back out through the nose. And as best as we can, we're breathing in and out through the nose only. And as we become more settled, we start to notice more things about this breath. For instance, we notice the temperature of the air and the difference in the in-breath and the out-breath. We notice the in-breath is cooler to the touch of the nostrils, and the out-breath is warmer to the touch at the nostrils. And there's never any need to change the breath in any way when we're simply sitting with it. We're just allowing a natural breath to occur. And we're just bringing the awareness to the nose and noticing the touch of air. Then we start to follow the path of the breath. So you can either follow this with your mind's eye or with the feeling of the touch of air at all these different points. So we start to feel the touch of air through the nose, down the throat, through windpipe and into lungs, and back out from lungs, through windpipe, throat, and out the nostrils. The more we can keep our awareness centered on the breath and following the path of the breath, the closer we get to a more natural state of meditation. So we really have our concentration in one place, one pointed, and we're noticing the air, the path, the temperature, these things that are really centered around the nose. And you may notice as you do this practice over time, your breathing starts to slow down in a natural way, without even really trying to slow it down. It naturally starts to slow on its own. So keeping the concentration to the breath, following the path, continuing to do that for about 5 minutes if possible in your day. Sitting here just doing the practice, closing my eyes, starting to notice the air, the touch of air, the feeling of air. You may notice that I've calmed down a whole lot in the last couple of minutes just by sitting here. So do some experiments for yourself. Always never take anything at whatever anyone tells you, at face value. Just always do everything on your own and decide for yourself how things are working for you, and if they're not working, try something else. Not every practice is for every person. That's why it's nice to learn a wide variety of different practices, either pranayama practices or meditational practices, because not everything is for every person. Everyone has a slightly different way that their body or their mind reacts to different things. So it's nice to go through different practices and see what works for you. So namaste, thank you, and try this practice out and see how it works.